mom passed away 2 years ago. A sudden stroke. It all happened too fast. In the morning she laughed on the phone, and by evening, she was gone. For months I couldn't get used to the silence. Every night I caught myself reaching for the phone, ready to call her, to tell her about my day. She always called me first. Even when I forgot to answer, she would leave voicemails like,
"Honey, are you okay? Did you eat? Are you warm enough?"
After the funeral, I couldn't bring myself to delete her number. It stayed in my contacts, as if deleting it would erase the last connection I had with her. Last night, I woke up to my phone buzzing. It was midnight, and on the screen, it said Mom. I froze. My brain refused to process what I was seeing. It couldn't be real. Maybe someone got her old number, I thought. But deep down, something told me otherwise. I answered. At first, silence. Just faint static like an old radio signal. And then, her voice. Soft, trembling, familiar.
"Sweetheart, why don't you come visit me?"
I couldn't speak. Mom?
"I'm waiting for you."
And then the call ended. I tried calling back, and the number didn't exist. Checked my call history. The log was empty. No sign of any call. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, my mom's neighbor, an old woman, called me. Her voice was shaking.
"I know this sounds strange," she said, "but last night I heard your mother's old phone ringing in her apartment."
The one on the bedside table. It's still there, right? I drove there immediately. The apartment smelled like dust and silence. Everything was exactly as I left it. And the phone? It was still on the table. I lifted the receiver, and then I heard a soft sigh, a woman's sigh.
"You finally came."
The line went dead. Now sometimes at night my phone rings again. There's never a number, just one word flashing on the screen. Mom. A few years ago, my friends and I decided to go camping. We wanted to escape the city. No phones, no internet, just silence and trees. There were 4 of us, me, Nick, Rachel, and Dan. Dan planned the route, an old forest up north. According to rumors, there used to be a logging camp there. But it was abandoned decades ago. We drove all day. By sunset, the GPS started acting weird. The map froze, then disappeared completely. The only thing left was a gray, empty square. "Strange," Nick said. "No signal." "Maybe the tower's too far," Rachel replied. We kept driving, until we found a clearing, a perfect circle of grass in the middle of the woods, as if someone had cleaned it recently. We set up camp and lit a fire. Rachel told ghost stories, Dan laughed. And I couldn't shake off the feeling that someone was watching us. From time to time I heard branches crack, too steady to be the wind. Then Nick froze. "Guys, do you see that?" Between the trees, a shadow. Tall, thin, human-like. But the way it moved, too smooth. Too wrong. We laughed nervously, trying to act brave. But the shadow passed again. Closer this time. Dan shouted, "Hey! Who's there?" No answer. Just silence. And darkness. That night I woke up. The fire had almost died and someone was sitting across from me. I thought it was Nick, until I realized his face was too smooth. "No eyes, no mouth." I blinked, and the figure was gone. In the morning, Dan said Nick was missing. His sleeping bag was torn open, and there were tracks leading into the woods. We followed them until we found something carved into a tree. A strange symbol. A circle with a line through it. Underneath lay Nick's phone, broken. There were pictures on it. The last one showed our campfire, and 5 silhouettes instead of 4. We panicked and ran to the truck, but the road was gone. Just thick forest. The GPS still showed nothing but blank gray space. As night fell, I saw a figure on the edge of the clearing. It was Nick. He stood perfectly still. His skin looked wooden. Branches grew from his back. I shouted his name, but he didn't move. Then he raised his hand and pointed toward the forest. And from the trees, more figures stepped out. Dozens of them. Their faces all blank, their bodies twisted like roots. We ran. I don't remember how I made it out. No one else ever did. There's still no trace of that forest on any map. But if you look closely on satellite view, sometimes you can see a faint glow, like a campfire, still burning, waiting. I travel a lot for work. Over the past few years, I've stayed in maybe 100 different hotels. Most of them I barely even remember. The same narrow hallways, the same card keys, the same cheap smell of disinfectant. But there's one hotel I'll never forget. It was in a small northern town. I arrived late at night. Snow was falling heavily, the roads were empty. And the only open hotel looked like something out of the 1950s. At the front desk sat an older man. He looked tired but kind. He smiled and said softly, "Traveling alone? Just one night?" I nodded. He handed me a key and added, almost whispering, "Whatever you do, don't open the window." Hey, room 313 was surprisingly cozy. Warm lights, old wooden panels, a chair by the window. I dropped my suitcase and noticed something strange. The window had been sealed shut from the inside with yellow tape. I thought maybe it was because of a draft or repairs. But as the hours passed, something felt off. The hallway outside was silent. Yet inside the walls, I could swear I heard footsteps. Soft, dragging footsteps. Like someone walking just behind the plaster. Hey, around midnight, the old phone on the nightstand started ringing. I hesitated, then picked it up. No one spoke. Only silence. And then a whisper. Barely audible. "Don't look out the window." I dropped the receiver, my hands shaking. I checked the lock, still shut tight. But curiosity won over fear. I walked to the window, peeled off a small piece of tape, and looked outside. Snow, an empty street, and a man, standing directly below my window. No coat, no hat, pale as paper, staring straight up at me. Then he smiled. Hey, I jumped back, pulled the curtain shut, turned off the light, and stayed in the chair until morning. I didn't sleep a second. When daylight finally came, I grabbed my bag and went downstairs. The same man from the front desk was there. He looked at me carefully and asked, "You didn't open the window, did you?" I hesitated, then said quietly, "No." He let out a slow breath. "Good, because whoever looks out never checks out." Hey, I left without another word. Just before stepping outside, I glanced back and saw a small, dusty plaque on the wall near the stairs. The writing was faint but still readable. Room 313, closed for renovation since 1998.